It looks like it takes a while to get around. Sign your own name, don't sign anybody else's, you know that, I'm sure. I'm Professor Stolberg. I see a lot of familiar faces in here, more familiar faces than unfamiliar. If you are in a bachelor's program, which must be you are, right? You're the only guys that take the seminar course. You probably have me at some point. We'll see. It would be rare that you wouldn't have me as a professor for at least one class. But anyway, I'm an investment advisor guy. I'm a CPA guy. I teach investments, financial planning, accounting, that kind of stuff. All right, so this, I guess, normally takes about an hour. I'm thinking it'll be a little shorter than that tonight. The primary emphasis for this meeting will be for you to understand clearly the next assignment that you have to fulfill, the next hoop you need to jump through in order to get credit, that one stupid little credit, right, for the seminar course. So the department feels very strongly, we're very unified on this point. We feel the skills that you are exposed to in the seminar are in fact important. If we didn't think they were important, we wouldn't be doing what we're doing. So, you know, approach this thing with an open mind. Don't look at it as busy work and why do I have to do this. You have to have this credit. You don't graduate without this one credit, and you don't get the one credit unless you do the assignment. So, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. It's connect the dots, you know, from where you are now to where you want to be. You want to be out of here with a degree in your hand. This is one of the requirements. All right. So, is there anybody in the room that has not checked their campus email account and received the template for this next assignment? I'm looking for people who have not. If you have not received the template, that means your inbox is full, or you just came to Alfred State yesterday, or some reason you're not on the formal roster in Blackboard or Banner. So if that is you, I think I saw 2 hands. If you're a person who did not receive this template, get an email. It went out to both the online students and the on-campus students. You need to see me ASAP or send me a quick email. It's STOLBETE, Stolbeat, at Alfred State. Just send me a quick email, I'll fire this out to you. Because I don't know why you wouldn't have received it if you're on the roster. Okay? If you're not on the roster and you want credit for the class, you need to get on the roster. Okay, do you know what it is, what the issue is? Why you're not?
I just haven't checked my email.
Oh, you just don't check your email. That's not real smart. This is how we communicate with you, you know. We use your campus email. We don't know about your Hotmail, Gmail, any of that kind of stuff. So it's fairly important that you check your campus email once a day at least, you know, something like that. So I'm guessing it's waiting there for you. Is that, somebody else had their hand up? Is that the same issue? All right, so anyway. What the department has decided, it is important to us that you start to get a feel for the process of networking. All right, now I could have printed off 1,000 articles about networking. But you can do this yourself. I mean, this is not part of the formal assignment. But if you want to just Google the phrase, how important is networking? In my search for a job, you'll find exactly what I found. All right, so what is networking? It's the use of contacts to acquire information, advice, referrals for a job hunt. All right, who do we ask? Friends, family, neighbors, co-workers, employers, faculty, classmates, anyone you have contact with. All right, and the research is clear. The data, it's empirical findings, it's not a theory. It is hard statistics that say 60 to 90% of jobs are not found through sending out resumes. That's huge. 60 to 90% of jobs are found through friends, relatives, personal contacts, and direct application. Okay? So that, I mean, a lot of people knock themselves out trying to find a job by sitting at their computer and looking at Monster or whatever job website and just firing off hundreds and hundreds of resumes, and then they sit there and wonder why nobody ever calls them. Think about it. If it's you, if you're the employer and you're looking for somebody, do you just want to get a resume in the mail, or do you want a live human being to walk in and shake your hand and say, "Hi, my name is blah, 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 and this is what I do, and I research your company, I kind of like what I saw, I'd like to work for you." It's a much more meaningful experience for the prospective employer to have you actually have enough energy and gumption to actually get up off your butt and go in and see them, instead of just sending out resume after resume after resume. It's tough out there, you guys. It's tough. It's tougher now than it has been in a long, long time. It's tough, and I want you to think in terms of the math. Just think about the math. What happens at Alfred State College every May? Graduation. We graduate, hundreds and hundreds of kids. All right? Every May that happens, and then a little trickle of them in January, and then a little trickle of them in August as well. There's actually 3 days you can graduate. But the big one is May. And then what happens across the street? Same week. Graduation. What happens at St. Bonaventure University? Niagara. St. John Fisher, U of R, RIT, Buff State, UB. Right? Houghton College, Niagara, Canisius. This is just in Western New York, just our little part of the state. Every May, thousands and thousands and thousands of graduates going out. And what do they all want? Just a job? Okay, so like third shift manager at the Unimark, going at 11 at night, work till 7 in the morning, working and dealing with all the scumbags and wastoid, drunken fools coming in. "Hey man, got any Slim Jims?" That's a job. That ain't the job you want. You want a good job. You know what you want? My job. I got a good job. Nice hours, nice benefits, good pay, prescription card, eye care plan, dental plan, deferred compensation, defined benefit pension, good for life. Got me a good job. Get to work with all you nice people. Every 15 weeks I get to meet about 200 new faces. It's awesome. That's what you want. I'm serious. I'm not, joking. You want a good job. Well, I got news for you. The economy doesn't create a good job for everybody that wants one. So think this through. It's just math, you guys. Thousands upon thousands upon thousands of graduates every May. Every May, what happens? All these colleges just go, "Blah, here they come. Here they come. Here comes a few thousand more people, all looking for that exactly the same thing, a good job." Now, you're competing with all those people you just graduated with, right? Guess who else you're competing with? The guys that graduated last year that still haven't found anything. And the guys that graduated the year before that still haven't found anything. Right? Who else are you competing with? Yeah, the guys that had good jobs and lost them. Through no fault of their own. Through the sheer economics of the situation for the employer they worked at, it just didn't work out. Had to lay you off. I got a very, very good friend who's 57 years old and got laid off 3 years ago and has not found a replacement job yet. And he's no dummy. He's an engineer. It just isn't working out. And it's unbelievable to me to watch him go through the struggles he's going through. So, put that in perspective. You're fresh out of college with no experience, and now you're competing against a guy who was in a middle management position for 7 or 8 years. If I'm a prospective employer, I'm looking at you going, "Yeah, you're a nice kid and everything, but you got no experience." And I'm looking at this guy, it's like, "Oh, you got lots of experience, you have a degree. Which way am I going to go?" I'm gonna go with a guy with experience, you know? I think you would too. So I'm just trying to tell you, this is tough. It's a tough job market right now. It's very, very competitive. So who do you owe it to do everything in your power to somehow differentiate yourself from everybody else? Who do you owe it to? Your mom and dad? No. Grandpas and grandmas? No. You know who you owe it to. You owe it to yourself. If you don't take care of you, who's going to take care of you? You know? Up to this point, for most of you, your moms and dads and grandpas and grandmas and the people that love you have given you food and shelter and clothing and clean drinking water and all the things you needed to function and thrive in this world. And right now, it's a hop, skip, jump, boom, 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 and now you're on your own, dude. You're paying your own bills, you're paddling your own canoe in this world, and I'm telling you right now, it's a challenge. It's a challenge. Financially, it's a challenge. When you start paying for everything yourself, right, by the sweat of your brow, not through some government handout, not through some handout from your parents or your grandpa or whoever. When you work for a living, dude, it ain't easy. It can be a lot easier if you get one of those good jobs. So I just want you to understand, you're not just here to get a job, you're here to get a good job. You're here to somehow differentiate yourself from every other fool that wants the same thing you want. This is a competition. It doesn't feel like a competition because usually when you're competing, you're grunting and sweating, elbows and knees. This is a competition using what's between your ears. How can I differentiate myself? For you guys, a lot of it is 3 letters, GPA. That's a lot of it. Eastman Kodak right now, the magic number is 3.2. They put an ad in the paper, help wanted, 2-year accounting degree needed, blah, blah, blah. How many applications do you think they're going to get? Kodak's had some hard times, but they're still breathing. They're coming out of bankruptcy. It's a numbers game, guys. If you send your resume in, if it's 3.19 on your GPA, it goes in the wastebasket. If it's 3.2 or higher, at least it goes into a pile for further consideration. All right? So GPA is a big thing. Act like the person you want to be. Again, hard data, empirical studies show if you want to be a professional cowboy, the sooner you start acting like a professional cowboy and dressing like a professional cowboy, seriously, there's data that shows this, the sooner you become a professional cowboy. All right? So if you want to become a businessman, you got to start acting like a businessman, thinking like a businessman, dressing like a businessman. You know, it works. Right? And then, of course, a huge part of all this is this thing we're here to talk about today, which is this networking. All right? It's just numbers. I keep saying this, but it's just math. The more people you come in contact with, the more times you do this. Glad to meet you, Tom Stolberg. Here's my card, blah, blah, blah. It's just math. It's the odds say the better off you're going to be, the more opportunities you're going to have, that somebody might remember your name. Remember that guy from that party? What was his name? I think I got his card. Yeah, he was an accountant. You know, it's just numbers. You know, I was stunned when I look at it. You know what they tell you? What your goal should be? How many people you should network on a monthly basis? What do you think? 100. 100 people a month. And you're supposed to keep a Rolodex or some sort of record on your smartphone or whatever. It's just a numbers game. Let's see. Time-tested networking tips. Introduce yourself in an upbeat manner. Well, what else are you going to do? Hi, I'm a loser. Always carry business cards. Be ready to shake someone's hand. Look for ways to help others. That seems almost like counterintuitive. You're looking for them to help you. but it's proven, you know, if you're perceived as the kind of person that helps other people, that leaves a positive impression on those who observe. All right, so they're more likely to contact you. Take notes on new people. I just said that in a database. Maintain contact with people when things are good. Don't wait until you need them. Like if everything's going fine, don't say, yeah, I don't need you right now, so I'm not going to call you. You want to maintain that contact on an ongoing basis, because, you know, life is kind of one of these. You know, if you're on the upswing and you feel like, I don't need anybody, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, you know, that's not a valid approach. You want to always maintain contact with those people in your network. Treat everybody with respect, integrity, truth, and honor. Pay attention to your grooming and your dress. You never know where or when you will meet someone important. I think that's probably a little easier for females. They tend to pay a little more attention to how they look. I don't know, maybe I'm stereotyping, but you know, but there's a lot of guys in here that got like a hair hanging out of their nose and stuff like that. You know, got to trim once in a while. Network is an ongoing process. It's not an event. You know what that means? It means like it's like you can't leave here today and then over the next couple of days do a bunch of networking and you go, there, I'm done. I did my networking. It doesn't work that way. It's an ongoing thing. It's a process, not an event. It's not like it's done. It never ends. All right? Do what you say you'll do. Report back in a timely manner. Listen with your eyes, ears, and head and heart. Touch base frequently. Reciprocate good deeds. All right. So I'm not going to bore you by reading to you. I just want you to understand this is a real thing. You know, I have to admit I sort of discounted this when people started talking to me about networking, and I was like, yeah, that's for other people, not for me. No, it's for you. It's for everybody. Frequent, numerous contacts with others, which is why you're going to do what you're going to do. All right. So, did you bring this? Did you bring that thing I sent you? Did you print it out and bring it? I don't think I instructed you specifically to bring it, but I did say to print it out. Did I? Okay, good. All right, so let me just be clear on this. I don't want to get the questions that I always get. First, this endeavor is designed to force you to meet people. All right? So let's be clear. The expectation is you're going to actually go and meet new people. So when you come to me and you want approval for a meeting, don't even ask if it's a webinar. I get asked that every semester. Well, I do a lot of online webinars. You know, there's other people. No. You got to actually meet a human. You know, you got to be able to smell them and feel their touch and their breath and stuff. Human beings, human contact. All right? No webinars, period. All right? Also, no student meetings. It's like, well, I'm on Student Senate. Will that count? No, you already know those people. The point is to meet new people, to network with other people, people that you've never contacted before. All right? Well, what does the meeting have to be? One word, relevant. It has to be relevant somehow to your future career path. So if you are a technology management major, tech management, right? And your underlying 2-year degree was vet tech, veterinary technology, now you're fleshing it out with 2 more years of business and management courses, then go to some sort of a veterinary seminar, workshop, conference, whatever. It has to somehow be relevant to where you want to go in life. All right? So every year, what happens is kids wait and they wait and they wait till the last minute, and then they realize they haven't fulfilled this requirement, and then they're giving me calls about, you know, well, the village board in Cohocton is going to meet. Could I go to that meeting? Will that count? It's like, no. Unless you want to be the town supervisor of the town of Cohocton, I don't know. It should be some sort of a professional thing. Now, what I will accept is interviews, you know, formal job interviews, as long as it's not with your dad or your mom. You know, I had a student a couple of years ago whose mom and dad were a small local contracting firm, small as in it's just the mom and the dad, and they like painted porches and painted steps on houses and stuff. She said, I want to go to a management meeting of this company. And I said, what is this company? Well, it's just my mom and dad. So in other words, you have supper with them every night at the table and you want to call it a meeting. That ain't going to work. Okay? So don't put this off. Don't put this off because it takes time to sometimes to land a meeting. I got an email from one of the online students. Well, I live in Herkimer County and there's no businesses in Herkimer County. Herkimer County, New York. Seriously? I get it. It's the Adirondacks. But trust me when I tell you this, I've already looked it up. There's more people in Herkimer County than there is in Allegheny County. And there are businesses in Herkimer County. Don't even go there with me. Don't tell me, oh, I've looked everywhere, I can't find a business meeting to go to. How do you do it? How do you find a meeting to go to? You start in the center of your universe. You, mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, Uncle Fred, Aunt Jean. You start in your closest circle of friends and you go, hey, Dad. So you're a financial services major. Do we know anybody that's in the insurance business, investments business, estate planning, tax planning? Do we know anybody that does that for a living? Chances are you're going to say, yeah, you're only going to go with someone. And then you go to that person, you say, I have a requirement for this class. I have to actually sit in on a business meeting of some kind, or a seminar, or a workshop. Can I come to one of your meetings? That's how you do it. You just ask. Okay? You have to do this. Don't come to me, well, I can't find anybody. Can you tell me what to do? No, I don't know about you. I don't know what your universe consists of. All right? It's up to you. You got to get out of your comfort zone and actually go find somebody that'll let you attend one of their meetings. And it has to be relevant to your future career. And you have to say that. So look at the template. Basic information. What's the organization it's meeting? What's the date, the time, the place? Who do you expect to be there? What is the stated purpose of the meeting? Who is your contact? This is the big thing, number 9. What is your expected or desired outcome? Why do you think this meeting would be a good one for you to go to? This is not a like 3-word answer. This is, you tell me why this is relevant for you to your future career path. Right? Then you go to the meeting, and then when you're done going to the meeting, you're going to look at this as a before list, and then you do the same thing in a past tense. So, in other words, here's who I thought would be there, number 5, and then the post assessment, you say, here's who actually was there. Number 9, your expected outcome. Here's what I thought I was going to get out of it. And then the post-assessment document is, here's what I did get out of it. See? All right. Well, it's not complicated. Yes, ma'am.
So if we were to like run a seminar, then would that necessarily be, like organization?
Yes.
Like a speaker?
Yeah.
Would we just use the name of speaker?
Yeah, you can go to a speaker as long as you introduce yourself, shake a hand, meet some people. Remember, the whole point of this is meet people. All right, yes, sir.
Is there a set number of people that has to be at the meeting?
No, because like I said, there's got to be at least 2, right? Because if it turns out it's a job interview,
Yeah, I got 4.
that you somehow secure an interview with somebody, then obviously it's likely to be just you and that person. All right? But that's okay. I mean, frankly, that's like one of the best of all. You know, get a, yes, sir.
The career fair that's coming up next month, what if like for the Schlumberger people, when we get that little pre-orientation, would that possibly count?
Well, yeah, it could possibly count. It could possibly count if you do what you need to do. See, now I don't know, those fairs, quite often it's just a big room with a bunch of little booths set up and they're handing out free Frisbees and, big deal.
The reason I'm asking.
If they have an opportunity for you to sign up for a session afterwards where, okay, if you're really interested in Schlumberger, come in here and we'll talk about the company, and it's a situation where you can go in and meet people and you know, maybe share a resume or something like that. That could probably work. Anything else? Don't come to me at the place and say, well, actually, I went to a meeting 3 weeks ago. Can that count? No. It can't count. What else? So you get the point, right? You don't owe this to me. You owe this to you, to do this, to get into this whole realm of networking and make it work for you, because, like I said, go online, find what I found. I was stunned at the statistics. The old-fashioned sending resumes out isn't how you get jobs. I guess we're dismissed. You're leaving.
At your little guide. And there's one other thing I want to mention to you as you continue with your professional development and career options. As you advance in your various careers, one of the most important places for you to go is, and to belong to, even as students, is an association. Much of their information that you're going to find that have been written back in those databases. In fact, there was an article written by someone who is discussing the American Management Association. There's some pertinent associations right at the top of here. And you'll find that you usually will belong to some kind of professional organization. And let's just go to Google real quick. Sorry. And we're going to use Google, which is not a source. It's just a search engine. So you never are citing Google. Google is a search engine. And let's do the, is there an American Management Association? If you type in, for example, Building Construction Associations, you'll get a list of all the pertinent associations. I belong to 3 library associations, 3 or 4 library associations. And there you're going to see it. There's the American Management Association. They have a trademark. And what is their first link? Seminars. This is where the information that is predominantly being published is by people in the field, working in the field, discussing research with their colleagues via an association. You belong to the association and you get all kinds of materials. They'll give you books. This is from the American Library Association that I belong to. They're going to set you up with all kinds of seminars. They'll help you with funding, etc., etc. So once you look at these, you can see that the seminars that are being offered, just by going to events, their membership, their advantage, play around with them. Some of their articles and white papers, you're going to get some of their current research. If it's in industry, construction, they'll give you best practices, etc. And here are a list of seminars right here. Analytical skills, business analysis, business writing, communication skills, customer service. It's not going to end. So you may as well learn it now so you'll have a heads up and you won't have to attend these when you're trying to have a job and have fun. So any questions for me?
I just have one other suggestion
Yes,
to add on to
please.
what Jane's saying. We have a number of student leaders in this room right now that are either leaders of various student organizations or involved in student organizations. Those organizations, many of those organizations have publications. So check with Spencer Peavy or check with Alicia or check with someone that you're working with in your particular area to see what those professional development journals are. You may want to cite some of those, which would be very appropriate for you to cite, especially those of you that are in those leadership positions right now. Okay? So that would be a great way kind of for you to have a transition there from what you're doing right now into your career.
And I just want to point out one thing. When you're thinking about what how to cite when you're doing a paper and they ask for a formal citation. Kind of think of it, if you're publishing, you're sending an article off to an editor in a magazine. Think of your teacher as kind of the editor. And you want to say this is your source. How are you going to prove it? How are you going to prove it to an editor that this was said? It's very, if you do an interview, if you're using yourself, there are very strict guidelines. So try to think of it. If I'm going to say that this happened, well, prove it. How are you going to prove it happened? Normally, if you have an idea or a concept, you will find that someone has published it and you'll be able to find that in some print document that you can then use to verify where you got the information.
For instance, today somebody was in to see me on a piece he was working on, and he had a source including himself and someone else he had a conversation with. Well, there is an APA style format called personal communication that you can actually cite yourself and cite that conversation. And that's in under the hacker site. You can see
Yes.
that listed.
Or the book.
Yep.
Or sometimes you may have to go right to the hardcore book. But the other thing is you want, there's strict guidelines in APA. If you have an interview with someone, you just don't say interview. You should include your interview questions as an appendix so that your reading audience knows exactly what you asked for them, that it was fair, that each person was asked the same information. When you look, you guys have all seen scholarly articles, and it's pretty much the same type of process here. You want your reader to know that your information is accurate, reliable, you've been consistent, you didn't make stuff up and left.
So the sign-up sheet is coming across to the other side for those of you that don't have it yet, okay? Second of all, if you missed getting the 4-color sheet, it's on pages 8 and 9 in the booklet that I've asked you to pick up from Mrs. Grillo. And if you don't have that, just stop by tomorrow and pick that up from her. Congratulations to the 51% who are up and going. And for the 31% who are up but not going yet,